And we're back. This is the Arbatel Chicken Philosophy. This is Chicken Philosophy, the Arbatel, with our special guest, the guy banging on something down there. The subheading to the title of this episode is really hard, because I'm going to try really hard this time to be interested in the Arbatel. In the case of the black books, if I take the interest that I have in Carl Jung that I had when I was 10 years old, combined with the patience that maybe I'll have at some point in the future, and I bring those together, then I can come up with a character or persona that can read the black books and be interested in them. Actually, there's parts of the black books that are fun to read. But the Arbatel, there has never been a me that would have been interested in reading this. And I think it's safe to say there will never be. So I'm gonna have to become ICL. Inside joke. No, I'm gonna try. I really am. Alright, but first I'm gonna take a sip. Yeah, see? I also put a little bit of effort in today. I hope that the amount of interesting scenery changes and things like that were in the first 4 episodes can make up for how boring and the same these last few are out on this balcony here. See? Very, I don't know if you can see that. I've done a silly thing. I went on the whole roller coaster about I'm just gonna delete the Arbatel from Chicken Philosophy, and then decided no, I'm gonna leave it on. And then today at 3 a.m. I woke up to pee, like I do, and decided at that time to go ahead and make MP3 files out of these YouTube videos and make a podcast version. So that's available if you go on Amazon, Spotify, or Apple. It's there now. If you wait a day, it'll be on every podcasting platform in the world. That's how that works. Alright, so let's pick up right where we left off, shall we? And let me get into character. Oh Lord, thank you for my trials, for my pain, and for the opportunity to sacrifice so much in my humility. Alright, I think I'm there. Let's do this. Aphorism 28. Because all good is from God, who is only good. Those plagues, Sodom and Gomorrah, all that is, good. It's good. Those things which we would obtain of him, we ought to seek them by prayer in spirit and truth, and a simple heart. Yes, alright. There's some overlap with sincerity here in my reading. The conclusion of The Secret of Secrets is that everyone exercise himself in prayer for those things which he desires, and he shall not suffer a repulse. Let not anyone despise prayer. Talking to you, all you secular humanists on Facebook, mocking the thoughts and prayers, posts, and statements by news outlets and corporations. Facetiously. Is it too many levels of irony? I'm sorry. For by whom, by the way, better to start at the beginning, then you'll have a better idea of where the levels of irony end and the next ones begin. It's like sedimentary rock layers of irony. For by whom God is prayed unto, to him he both can and will give. Now let us acknowledge him, the author, with a capital A. So clearly this dude is talking about himself, right? From whom let us humbly seek for our desires. Oh no, he's talking about God. Okay. A merciful and good Father loveth the sons of desires. As Daniel, which is in italics, so it's God talking, and sooner heareth us than we are able to overcome the hardness of our hearts to pray. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus et but he will not that we give holy things to dogs. Are there any dogs watching? Nor despise and condemn the gifts of his treasury. Oh, thanks for that gift, God. Could you spare it? Just kidding. Therefore, diligently and often read over and over the first septenary of secrets, and guide and direct thy life and all thy thoughts according to those precepts, and all things shall yield to the desires of thy mind in the Lord, to whom thou trustest. All right, that's the end of aphorism 28. Cheers. I just woke up from a nap, so getting this ID card. Went down to this place, down, made an appointment down in there, and they're like, we need proof of residence, proof that you live at this address. So, you know, they give us a form and they're like, just find one of the ministers, one of the head honchos of the neighborhood. Each neighborhood has like its own little hierarchy, political hierarchy, you know, and get them to sign right here, and then paste your picture in this little box, and you yourself sign, starting in this box, and signing at an upward slant, such that the end of your signature is in the photograph. And me, in my sleepy, sick mind, wrote my signature at a downward slant. So tomorrow I get to find out whether that means we have to go hunt down the political hierarchy of the neighborhood again and have it signed again in order to paste the picture and sign it part in the box and part on the picture at an upward slant this time again. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that's not frustrating at all. Oh, and also you remember how there was that thing where the car stalled on the uphill thing? So I was like, hey, I need an automatic, and then I won't have that problem. No automatic. All right. Trying again Friday. So no sleep, sick, going for the ID card tomorrow. I'm going for my second driver's test the next day. So wish me luck. 2 days in a row. So this this activity right now is me distracting myself from bullshit, from stuff. You ever been frustrated with like government bureaucratic stuff? In Delhi? It's an experience. I mean, I signed up for, when I was born in this life, I signed up for quite a lot of experiences of various kinds. This being among them. And you know how the old aphorism, why do you keep banging your head against that wall? Because it feels so good when I stop? Well, in a month or so, or whenever, we'll get to go back to Goa. Put my feet in the ocean and go, it's over. So, you know, everything has its silver lining. The fifth septenary, aphorism 29. Yes, very interesting. Very interested in this. Reading it. As our study of magic proceedeth in order from general rules promised, let us now come to a particular explication thereof. Spirits either are divine ministers of the Word and of the Church and the members thereof, or else they are servient to the creatures in corporal things, partly for the salvation of the soul and body, and partly for its destruction. And there is nothing done, whether good or evil, without a certain and determinate order and government. Yeah. And when you sign the fucking thing, make sure you do it at an upward slant. Sorry. He that seeketh after a good end, let him follow it. And he that desireth an evil end, pursueth that also, and that earnestly, from divine punishment, and turning away from the divine will. Therefore, let everyone compare his ends with the Word of God. I fixed it. I thought of Kyle MacLachlan at the end of Dune. And as a touchstone that will judge between good and evil, let him propose unto himself what is to be avoided and what is to be sought after, and that which he constituteth and determineth unto himself, let him diligently, not procrastinating or delaying, until he attain to his appointed bounds. Aphorism 30. They which desire riches, glory of this world, magistracy, honors, dignities, tyrannies, parentheses, and that magically, end parentheses, if they endeavor diligently after them, they shall obtain them. Every one according to his destiny, industry, and magical sciences, as the history of Melusina witnesseth, and the magicians thereof, who ordained that none of the Italian nation should forever obtain the rule or kingdom of Naples, and brought it to pass that he who resigned in his age to be thrown down from his seat, so great is the power of the guardian or tutelar angels of kingdoms of the world. All right, I'm going to listen to that later and hope that it made sense. I don't feel like rereading it. Aphorism 31. Call the prince of the kingdom and lay a command upon him. Oh. and command what thou wilt, and it shall be done. If that prince be not again absolved from his obedience by a succeeding magician. Therefore, the king, so it's like the genie in the bottle, except you don't need the bottle. You just call on the genie. And, I shouldn't say that too loud, I'm in India. Though they pronounce it differently here, but it's like a bad word here. Not like a bad word, but it's like people are like, don't say that. They'll hear you. And one will show up and fuck you up. Like I think they have more of a, as attesteth in, as Ka attesteth in Esoteric Nerd episode 10, that these guys are fucking serious. They're not Robin Williams in blue cartoon, Bouncing all over the place here, sorry. I'll just keep reading. Therefore, the kingdom of Naples, what are we talking about with Naples? May be again restored to the Italians. If any magician shall call him who instituted this order and compel him to recall his deed. Oh, so if you're really a good Christian, you can compel the Olympic spirits to give you Naples, and it'll be yours until another magician who also... That explains a lot of the European wars throughout history where both sides are praying to Jesus for victory. Like, some kind of no man's land and, never mind. Yes, and he may be compelled also to restore the secret powers taken from the treasury of magic. A book, a gem, a magical horn. Ooh. I gotta read that again. A book, a gem, a magical horn. And it's like even better because gem here is spelled Gemme. There's probably some old-timey pronunciation. A book, a gemme. Anyway, a magical horn which being had... anyone may easily, if he will, make himself the monarch of the world. Easily. It's how powerful the Arbatel is, which is why it's so famous that I had heard of it prior to being asked to come. All right. But Judaeus choosed rather to live among gods until the judgment before the transitory good of this world, and his heart is so blind that he understandeth nothing of the God of heaven and earth, or thinketh more, but enjoyeth the delights of things immortal to his own eternal destruction. Well, that had ups and downs. I was like, oh, he's doing really well. Oh no, eternal destruction. Okay. And he may be easier called up than the angel of Plotinus in the temple of Isis. I know that temple. Aphorism 32. In like manner, also, the Romans were taught by the Sibyl's books, and by that means made themselves the lords of the world, as history's witness. But the lords of the prince of a kingdom do bestow the lesser magistracies. Let me try that again. Magistracies. The lesser magistracies. The magistracies, He therefore that desireth to have a lesser office or dignity, let him magically call a noble of the prince, and his desire shall be fulfilled. Aphorism 33. But he who coveteth contemptible dignities as riches alone, let him call the prince of riches, or one of his lords, and he shall obtain his desire in that kind whereby he would grow rich, either in earthly goods or merchandise, or with the gifts of princes, or by the study of metals, or chemistry, spelled Chymistry, as he produceth any precedent of growing rich by these means, he shall obtain his desires therein. Aphorism 34. All manner of evocation is the same kind and form, and this way was familiar of old time to the sibyls and chief priests. This in our time, through ignorance and impiety, is totally lost. So they were more pious in pre-Christian ancient Rome than in newly Protestant Switzerland. Fair enough. And that which remaineth is depraved with infinite lies and superstitions. Lies spelled L-Y-E-S. That's fun. It's just old-timey, 1500s, or 1655. This was translated into English. Aphorism 35. The human understanding is the only effector of all wonderful works, so that it be joined to any spirit, and being joined, she produceth what she will. Therefore, we are carefully to proceed in magic, lest that sirens and other monsters deceive us, which likewise do desire the society of the human soul. Let the magician carefully hide himself always, ALWAIES, under the wings of the Most High, lest he offer himself to be devoured of the roaring lion. For they who desire earthly things do very hardly escape the snares of the devil. The 6th septenary. Oh, I get it now. 7 aphorisms per septenary. The 6th septenary. We've completed 35 and now we're moving on to 36. So this whole thing's aphorisms. All right. Took me a little bit to catch on to that. Aphorism 36. Care is to be taken that experiments be not mixed with experiments, but that every one be only simple and several. For God and nature have ordained all things to a certain and appointed end, so that, for example's sake, they who perform cures with the most simple herbs and roots do cure the most happily of all. And in this manner, in constellations, words and characters, stones, and such like, do lie hid the greatest influences or virtues indeed, which are instead of a miracle. All right. Yeah, makes sense. I like it. I'm enjoying reading this too. Are you enjoying hearing it? Oh, I bet you are. What page are we on? All right. So also are words, which being pronounced, do forthwith cause creatures both visible and invisible to yield obedience. As well creatures of this our world, as of the watery, airy, subterranean, and Olympic, super-celestial, and infernal. And also the divine. Therefore simplicity is chiefly to be studied, and the knowledge of such simples is to be sought for from God. Otherwise, by no other means or experience they can be found out. Aphorism 37. And let all lots have their place decently. Order, reason, and means are the three things which do easily render all learning, as well of the visible and as invisible visible as invisible creatures. This is the course of order, that some creatures are creatures of the light, others of darkness. These are subject to vanity, because they run headlong into darkness, and enthrall themselves in eternal punishments for their rebellion. Their kingdom is partly very beautiful in transitory and corruptible things on the one part, because it cannot consist without some virtue and great gifts of God, and partly most filthy and horrid to be spoken of, because it aboundeth with all wickedness and sin, idolatry, contempt of God, blasphemies against the true God and his works, worshippers of devils, disobedience toward magistrates. Don't disobey your magistrate. The servant waits while the magistrates. Seditions, homicides, disobedience toward homicides. Oh no, okay. Disobedience toward magistrates, comma, new thing. Seditions, homicides, robberies, tyranny, adulteries, wicked lusts, rapes, thefts, lies, perjuries, pride, and a covetous desire of rule. In this mixture consisteth the kingdom of darkness, but the creatures of the light are filled with eternal truth, and with the grace of God, and are lords of the whole world, and do reign over the lords of darkness, as the members of Christ. Between these and the other there is a continual war, until God shall put an end to their strife by his last judgment. Aphorism 38. Therefore, magic is twofold in its first division. The one is of God, which he bestoweth on the creatures of light. The other also is of God, but as it is the gift which he giveth unto the creatures of darkness. And this is also twofold. The one is to a good end, as when princes of darkness are compelled to do good unto the creatures, God enforcing them. The other is for an evil end, when God permitteth such to punish evil persons, that magically they are deceived to destruction. Alright, we're on page 29 out of 36. Next episode is really going to be the last one. Or at least the last of the reading. I don't know if I'll do a follow-up episode. Probably not. The follow-up is the episode with Job. Right. God enforcing them. The other is for an evil end, when God permitteth such to punish evil persons, that magically they are deceived to destruction, or also he commandeth such to be cast out into destruction. The second division of magic is that it bringeth to pass some works with visible instruments through visible things, and it effecteth other works with invisible instruments by invisible things, and it acteth other things as well with mixed means as instruments and effects. The third division is, there are some things which are brought to pass by invocation of God alone. This is partly prophetical and philosophical, and partly, as it were, theophrastical. Other things there are, which by reason of the ignorance of the true God, are done with the princes of spirits, that his desires may be fulfilled, such as the work of the Mercurialists. I kind of want to meet these Mercurialists. The fourth division is that some exercise their magic with the good angels instead of God, as it were descending down from the Most High. Such was the magic of Baalim. Another magic is that which exerciseth their actions with the chief of the evil spirits. Such were they who wrought by the minor gods of the heathens. The fifth is that some do act with spirits openly and face to face, and back to back. You see and feel. Something very inappropriate, Billy Idol. What the fuck? Right. Which is given to few. Others do work by dreams and other signs, which the ancients took from their auguries and sacrifices. The sixth division is that some work by immortal creatures, others by mortal creatures, as nymphs, satyrs, and such like inhabitants of other elements, pygmies, etc. The seventh division is that the spirits do serve some of their own accord, without art. Others they will scarce attend, being called by art. Among these species of magic, that is the most excellent of all, which dependeth upon God alone. The second, them whom the spirits do serve faithfully of their own accord. The third is that which is the property of Christians, which dependeth on the power of Christ, which he hath in heaven and earth. Well, that ending was a little odd, but nonetheless, it was an ending, and so I am grateful.